So you have spreadsheet stress. Now, I think spreadsheet stress comes at us in many different ways. At one point, you can say, I have too many spreadsheets, and that's a different type of stress. Some, you can say, I can see my spreadsheets could be better. And at Better Sheets here, we talk about a lot of little tips and tricks and techniques that each seems tiny and seems little, but adds a little bit better experience to your spreadsheet experience. So makes your experience in spreadsheets better and makes you better at spreadsheets. But in this video, I wanted to go through a few ways that I think if you have extra spreadsheet stress, that you can de-stress. And there's some resources, including Better Sheets, but also beyond Better Sheets, that I think are really helpful and could help you de-stress your spreadsheet stress. One way we think about spreadsheet stress at Better Sheets is that everything is possible. There is so many things you can do in Google Sheets. You might not even know what's possible, and so you want to see someone else's experience. And that's what I try to do here on Better Sheets, especially here on YouTube and in the tutorials on Better Sheets, is I try to just walk through what you're experiencing it and then show you step by step how to get out of that. Not all tutorials do that. Not all tutorials go in real time. Many tutorials, especially when I was starting over 10 years ago, looking at YouTube videos and trying to learn more and more about spreadsheets, it cut a lot of stuff out. And I had to stop and realize what is actually happening here. So Better Sheet videos really help you through in real time. So let me talk about a few of the things you might be already looking to de-stress your sheets. One, you're Googling for stuff. And one of the ways it can be stressful to Google for things is you don't know the words to use that actually will get you the results you want. For instance, recently I was talking about this sort of searching on Google for different things. There are certain words like merge versus combine. If you search for on Google, you're like, I want to merge two columns into one. You're going to get the answer is going to be this feature up here, which is like literally merging this merge cells. And that's not necessarily what you might want to do. Maybe your use case is I have a first name and a last name and I want to create a full name and I want to actually combine these two words together. And then you're going to get a result of, if you actually look for combine two pieces of data together, you might get a formula called like concatenate, which you're like, what the hell is that? And that's going to give you a whole nother set of stress. Googling is good if you know exactly the words to use, or if you're okay dealing with this not knowing and seeing the results and trying to change the words, if a lot of different words to explain the same thing, if you're good at explaining. Which brings me to the second way you might be looking to de-stress your Google Sheets is you're asking ChatGPT the answer. And now I've seen a lot of people, and I've done this myself, is I've looked at ChatGPT to code, to do little pieces of code for me. And sometimes it works. And it's miraculous. It's like really a miracle because you're like, oh, yes, that is what I was trying to do. And then, yes, that is. But it causes another stress where sometimes it is absolutely wrong. It's wrong in its explanation. It might be wrong in its writing. It might be wrong in the code actually doesn't do what you want it to do. Or you were like looking for something more complicated and it's doing something simpler, or reverse. You were looking for something much more simpler and it's doing something way different than you expected. And so not knowing if ChatGPT is correct is a type of stress that I've seen happen a lot. And the same thing on YouTube. It's because YouTube is a part of Google. What you are searching for, the words that you are searching for have to be what you really are searching for and your intent. Google and YouTube are doing rather well recently on figuring out your intent, but sometimes it is wrong and it is stressful to watch 30-minute video and be like, this is not what I wanted. And so I try to mitigate this a little bit with Better Sheets. With Better Sheets, we have a lot of different ways that you can get better. Many times, a lot of the tutorials that I produce on Better Sheets is not necessarily solving your exact problem, but it is rather creating a creative sort of template or something that you might not necessarily do. In doing that, you learn a new lesson. So you're I actively don't make searchable terms. For instance, let's go to the most recent tutorials. I created a memento mori, or is it memento mori, a death dashboard. Literally, I created a dashboard that tells me the exact day I'm going to die, which you should watch that video if you want to know when I'm going to die, which is totally morose and foreboding. But it shows you a really cool application of looking at different images and finding the colors to create a dashboard. So like, completely weird topic. Nobody's going to be searching for the day I die. That's what I try to do here on Better Sheets on the YouTube channel, but also very much in the paid subscriber member area. This one right here is a paid subscriber video until I put it out on YouTube. Maybe, we don't know. But also something like creating little tools where I turn titles into lowercase hyphenated slugs, where like you're literally taking a title of a blog post and adding those hyphens in between. I create the formula to do it for you, and then it creates a little tool. Is this the word that you would use to find that? Are you using the word slug? Are you using the word hyphen? I want to create a URL for each blog post title or something like that. There are so many different words to use. So I like to create these videos, and then they're all linked through formulas. So if you're looking for, say, the answer to some problem and you find out, oh, it is this concatenate formula. What else can I do with this concatenate? Or what else can I do with index or if? If you find a formula that you're like, oh, this is cool, I've never used this formula before, or I've never used this formula like this, you can search over on the right side for videos that feature that formula. So instead of looking all over and typing into Google for an if formula to figure out what it is, one way you can actually use Better Sheets is go up to bettersheets.co, go up to your URL bar, type in bettersheets.co/formulas, and then another slash, and then literally any formula you want, like F for if, or IFS for ifs, or sum if. Any of these, any formula in Google Sheets, you can type it in, and you'll get to a page which features description, common questions, ways to use this formula appropriately, and videos. If I have any videos that feature that formula, I'll show them right here. So you don't have to go searching for them. You don't have to go doubly and search for if here. You'll find out common ways you misappropriate it, misuse it, mistype it, and you'll actually see it used in these videos. Also, if you're like, I don't want to watch a video, I just want to read through a quick transcript, every video on Better Sheets has a transcript. But even better, I usually have external links here, which are blogs, articles, and they're not just mine. I try to feature all types of YouTube videos, blog articles that feature this kind of formula. So this becomes an amazing repository and directory if you want to know anything about this formula. You have how to use it. Here's the actual syntax. So you're like, oh, what does this mean? What's the first thing? What's the second thing? You don't have to necessarily use this in a Google Sheet. I'll show you right here how to use it. And I show you all different, it's used so many different ways, especially the if is one of my favorite formulas. But beyond formulas, there's also sheet styles. So one of the things that I try to do is I don't necessarily just try to make your mind better, but like your experience in Google Sheets should be better. I have created this free Google Sheet add-on called Sheet Styles. And what it does, in one click, it can literally change the contrast of your entire sheet. So in one click, now you have less headaches, less problems reading through data. So if you want to do data manipulation, if you're looking at data and you need to see the rows, scroll down here, data management style. It alternates these rows very quickly in one click. It should be in one click. It's not, there it is. And if you prefer a dark mode, here's a dark style right there for you. So it's light text and dark background. And it also changes the text. Oh, this one changes it to Calibri. This changes it to Carla. There it is, Carla font. So it's not Arial, it's a nicer font. And so this makes it much less contrast. So you can use Sheets much longer. Like, I really do imagine people need a better experience of using Google Sheets, because we're just going to use it 8 to 10 hours a day. It's going to be open on our desktop all the time. Like, even if we learn how to do something faster, we're not going to get off of work faster. We're just going to spend more time here. So I just thought this would be a really cool way to use Google Sheets. It actually looks nicer. And also, Tiny Sheets is a totally free Google Sheet add-on, which creates one by one sheets. If you want to create smaller sheets instead of having to delete all the rows and columns in excess, you can just start with a one cell sheet or a one column sheet or a one row sheet if you want to do some kind of headers, or if you're looking to do just a list, very simple stuff. But also, it also deletes rows and columns that are in excess. So this is a pet peeve of mine. I see all these extra rows and extra columns beyond the data, and you're never going to add more to it. You're trying to present data to someone, or you're trying to look through a table, and then you constantly scroll to other parts of the screen. Very disturbing. But if you delete all the extra rows and columns, then you don't have to scroll there. In addition to Better Sheets, I wanted to share with you 3 resources that I've found incredibly helpful over the years. One is Digital Inspiration, or Labnol, labnol.org. Oh my God. This is the OG app script guy, Amit Agarwal. Literally, see, he's been doing it since 2004. I started doing Google Sheets professionally 2013, I think. Yeah, 2013. I was doing Excel VBA like 2 or 3 years before that. I learned AppScript from Amit. So I love Labnol. I love Digital Inspiration. He has a bunch of Google add-ons himself, and also produces some great AppScript that you can copy paste and use in your sheets. Really cool stuff. Ben Collins is a formidable force in Google Sheets. I love that he dives very deep into the kinds of formulas that I particularly don't like. I love arts and crafts of Google Sheets. I love AppScript, but Ben has gone deep into query, Query, that formula. I have left it alone. I leave query alone. I think it's one of the most complicated, obviously most useful Google Sheet formulas, but it is incredibly complicated, and it is an entire language in and of itself. Ben here has an entire course devoted to that one formula. If I made a course about a formula, maybe I would do it about the if formula, or switch is actually cool, or filter, maybe. Filter, I've recently found out that a lot of people don't know about the filter formula, and I think it is incredibly useful. Filter here. But back to Ben, his query course goes deep into it. It's an entire language in and of itself. Also, he has a great newsletter that sends every Monday. Check that out. Get a new tip in your inbox every single Monday. And the last one I want to talk about is Alice Keeler. Alice Keeler helped me create my Google Sheet add-ons. So I got to give big props to her and her writing, and she has a ton of teacher tech. So if you're a teacher and you're watching this and you're trying to get better at Google Sheets, I would recommend Alice Keeler and her blog at least, and come back to Better Sheets for some more fun, weird stuff to do in Google Sheets. But yeah, Alice Keeler, I've enjoyed her writing and I've also benefited very greatly for it. If it wasn't for her writing, I don't think I would have created the add-ons that I have created. She wrote on the Google Workspace blog a step-by-step guide on actually going through the OAuth process and the approval process of Google Sheet add-ons. And I did that once, and then literally, I kid you not, I have to go to her article every single time. I've done now 4 Google Sheet add-ons. I have created 4 free Google Sheet add-ons. Each and every time, all 4 times, I have had to use her article. It does not get easier as you go through it. That process is unbelievably difficult, convoluted, and I have to use Alice Keeler here's article every single time. Kudos to Alice Keeler for writing that and letting me create some Google Sheet add-ons like you saw earlier in this video. So thank you for watching. I hope this helps you de-stress your spreadsheet stress, de-stress your sheets. Knowing more, learning more might end up having a little bit of respite from your stress. We're just going to use spreadsheets all the time. So you might as well learn more. You might as well know more about the spreadsheets that you use. All right. To de-stress your life, let's think about death a little bit. Go watch this video and see the Memento Mori dashboard that I built. Watch the latest video here on Better Sheets. Hope you enjoy and hope you've enjoyed this. And I hope I have de-stressed your spreadsheet life a little bit.